Today I'm going to share a quick, easy recipe that I do every Thanksgiving and Christmas that's going to end up being your family's and your friends' favorite dish. We're going to make jalapeno cranberry salsa. And these are all the ingredients. It's very simple. And then I put the chips here because they're the second most important ingredient, because you're going to want to eat the salsa with these leal chips, which are locally made. Well, I can tell you that my client Daphne Miller, who moved to New Mexico 2 years ago, tells me that this is her family's favorite dish on the table at Thanksgiving. And her daughter is a pastry chef, so it's pretty high praise. I didn't invent it, but I perfected it. So one of the ingredients is half of a red onion, chopped in small enough pieces that they'll fit on a chip with the cranberry and everything else that's in this. Another ingredient is cilantro, and I know that there are people who are either way pro cilantro or people who won't eat it at all. You can leave it out, but at my house we love it and I use a lot of it. And it's really based on taste. I sometimes put some in and add more. I sometimes put in too much. So I would say like a handful of cilantro leaves without the stems. There are people who think that you should put the stems in as well. I don't like those woody parts, but just finely chopped. Take these leaves off the stems and finely chop them. She's waiting for a taste. The next thing is jalapeños. There are lots of purists in New Mexico that don't like to use jalapeños in their food, but green chili doesn't really work in this salsa. So the easiest way to chop up jalapeños without burning everybody's mouth up is to be sure that you have deveined and de-seeded your jalapeños. That's certainly, in my opinion, my not very professional opinion, the hottest part of the jalapeno. And this is another part of this recipe where it's all based on taste. If you've got folks in your family who love hot foods, put in 2 or 3. I'm going to do 1 for this recipe, just as an example. Here's the other thing, though. Jalapenos are kind of a crapshoot when you buy them at the grocery store. You never know if you're getting really hot jalapenos or really mild jalapenos. I've bought them before where they're sort of like bell peppers. So you just got to give it a shot, see how it goes. I'll tell you that Logan Food Market in Logan, New Mexico has the best jalapenos in the state, I think. I have no idea where he gets them, but they're plump and full and healthy and just the right temperature. And these are finely diced as well. So for my recipe, I use 2 cans of cranberry sauce, and I use whole berry cranberry sauce. You can certainly use the jelly. It's a matter of personal preference, but this just gives it a little more texture and I think a better flavor. I'm going to put the cranberries in this bowl. I'm going to throw in the onions, the jalapenos, and the cilantro, and then I'm going to spice it with garlic salt. So the first time I made this, I was a new wife with a baby in Kansas, where I lived for a couple of years. And
nobody didn't like that either.
And I really missed having spicy food on the table. And I saw this recipe for a kind of cranberry salad that had onions and cilantro in it. And I thought, wait a second. This is long before the internet, long before you could get online and look at recipes to figure out what you wanted to put on your table. So I got all the ingredients, and then I picked up jalapeños, which were easy to buy at that time in Kansas, and green chili wasn't. And I made it and put it on the table. And because everybody there was unaccustomed to eating spicy food, I ate almost all of it. It's almost my entire Thanksgiving meal, and I didn't mind that one bit. And every holiday season since then, I've made it. Put in the onions. Here's the cilantro. I feel certain I'm going to add more. Here are the chopped jalapenos. It's so pretty. Like I said, I only used one jalapeno, but I will go back and taste it. And if it's not spicy enough, I'll add some more. And then I'm gonna add just a little bit of garlic salt. To be sure I was getting this right, although I do it from memory, I looked online and there are dozens of recipes for this. Some people put in lime juice to make it a little more citrusy. Some people add a teaspoon or a tablespoon of sugar to cut any of the tanginess of the cranberries. But this is how I make it every year. And I think I'm going to stick to this method. Let me tell you one trick about cooking this, and this is really true with any spicy food. Like when I make gypsy stew, it's the same thing. If you make this a day or two ahead and put it in the fridge, it gives all these flavors time to meld and blend, and it's much more delicious, I think. It's really good on the third day. And that's it. So now we're going to try it. Let's see. We got some hot jalapenos that time. I think one is going to be plenty.
Okay, now I'm going to try it with you.
Okay, good. Let's see if I did it right this year. That's the stuff.
Very good.
Happy
Now we're ready for
holidays.
Thanksgiving.
I know. Happy holidays.